All right, let's do some news.
All right, we kind of brushed on this last show, but let's do a deeper dive into some LA fire hydrants, which have been vanishing. At least 302 hydrants have vanished.
Wait, 302?
302.
302.
Hydrants have been stolen since the start of 2023. And several
Stolen?
Yeah, stolen.
I blame Toyota, right?
Yeah, so they're these are targeting hydrants. Sometimes a lot of them use the shutoff valve, which is thoughtful and considerate. But on several occasions,
I think they're only doing it so they don't get hit. But okay, there's a problem. Okay.
What is the reason behind this?
Raw materials.
Right.
Oh,
So they're not completely sure, but they believe there's some brass in the fire hydrants, but they said that if they turned in a fire hydrant to a center that takes them, they're only going to get like $100. So is it even worth it?
But there's also these metal places where you would traditionally bring these pieces of metal to recycle them. They explicitly you cannot turn in a fire hydrant and get money. You can't, unless it's a shady operation. So who is this underground people melting down fire hydrants? I think there's a general anarchy, chaos element to this that, let's get rid of the fire hydrants and light the city on fire. Here we go.
Oh, literally. Yeah.
Wow, I'm not that grifty. I'm more thrifty with my grifties.
Our smoke detectors work here. Right?
Yeah. I think as California, but as Los Angeles sort of descends into a third world sort of status, that thieves, things start off with, jewelry and expensive watches and luxury automobiles and computers and TV sets. But as things spiral down, we literally get into raw materials, which is where we're at now. Like copper being pulled out of conduit, and sold. And we're now at the point where we're into like raw materials. Like the next is going to be organ harvesting. Like people are just going to be cutting people open on the street and running with their liver. Like isn't that where? What is next? What I'm saying. Organ harvesting is next.
The thing about the fire hydrants and the catalytic converters and the copper, like a fire hydrant's heavy, and if you're going to get 100, like now you're just actually doing work. Like you're like unscrewing things and you're carrying, like just be a mover.
The thing, I agree. I feel the same way about the guy in the Winnebagos hooked up to the water and hooked up to the power line and parallel parked a 32-foot house in between two cars. It's like that guy's fucking capable.
Yeah, and it's like when you see the motorcycle guy who has the two things on the back, and it's like, get a car. At this point, you have 5 trunks on your motorcycle.
The motorcycle.
You're just a fucking car.
The guy driving the Honda Goldwing with the full fairing, he's got a stereo, speaker system. He's getting 7 miles to the gallon. It's like at some point, get a car.
You're not even splitting lanes
You're
anymore.
too wide to
You're not
split
going
lanes.
fast. No one can ride on the back.
You got your fat bitch on the back. You got the intercom system. At some point, get a fucking car.
It's like I always said, what happens when the smallest iPad is smaller than the largest iPhone? Does like the world just cease to exist? Like when the smallest car is bigger than the biggest motorcycle, is it even a motorcycle anymore?
Chris and his Prius get much better mileage than the guy on the Goldwing with the fat chick on the back. That guy. And some of them even have electronic training wheels that come down. Have you ever seen that?
I've never seen that.
Like if it tips to a certain degree,
when you're parking it or holding it upright. Because if the shit falls down, you need a pickup truck. You need a flat or tow truck to get it back up on its feet again, which is the most embarrassing biker scenario ever. Is the bike fell over at the rock store and everyone's just staring at you and you can't get it back up on its feet again, and you just fucking stand there. You got to fake an injury. Yeah,
but like if you go out in the middle of the night and you steal a very heavy fire hydrant and you put it in your car and you go sell it for $100.
Well,
Charge bird scooters or something. Like there's
I
a
know.
better way to make drive Uber.
I
What
don't
the
know,
fuck are you doing?
reporting it's $100. Maybe they're just saying that so people stop doing it. It doesn't feel worth it. And a lot of them are using their cars to just knock them out.
over. The other thing that's going on, I think they knock them over after they hit it with an impact wrench. So is it Nithya Raman, our lady?
Our buddy.
That's
yeah.
our lady. She's making all the good policies.
She's good.
She's going after Toyota because it's their fault, because they're making the catalytic converters so super simple to steal. Super easy, as she talks about it. She should really have her sights set on Milwaukee and Makita and Hitachi for making battery-operated impact guns.
Too powerful.
Where you can just show up with your 20-volt impact gun and pull all the fucking tightened down nuts off it, then back into it, and it'll fall right over.
Right.
I don't think you can hit it with your car without doing damage to your car. And there's a video of it I saw somewhere, and I can tell what tool's being used by the sound of the tool. It's my gaydar.
Yeah.
And
I absolutely cannot correct you.
And I know and I could hear these guys with an impact gun.
Yeah.
So impact guns are what the mechanics would use, and they were pneumatic, and they were fired off a compressor.
Right.
Or you'd hear it,
And you get that
pit team
after.
NASA. Yeah. Now they're electronic, and they will bust some bolts off, man. I mean, they got big time foot-pounds of torque, and they will buck. So you get one of those, and so Nithya should be focusing on Home Depot and Makita.
Yeah.
But like, what do you get for a catalytic converter?
Well, $550 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Chris had his stolen. He's being impacted. He didn't sleep.
But
well
it's like,
that night.
what do you do for a living? Oh, I get on the ground under a car, I screw some things, and I make about $500 a day. Oh, you're a mechanic. Oh, no,
Yeah.
I'm
Well, you
a
hit more
thief.
than one car a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. On the other hand, it's now down to the point where a fire hydrant doesn't look like a fire hydrant. It looks like $100 bill to a lot of people, and they go, I'm just going to go pick it up. And since we don't really enforce laws here, why
I
wouldn't
guess
you?
if I ever had to turn to a life of crime, it wouldn't involve as much like manual labor.
Yeah.
No, I definitely feel that.
I'm committing crime to avoid doing manual labor.
Yeah, I feel that way about the guys you see picking through the aluminum cans and the trash.
I almost think these guys just like the life of crime. I have a brother. My brother is a sort of, we've talked about this, but
Yes.
he's a con man. He's always enjoyed a life of crime. Like he goes toward a life of crime. And so maybe we just have to convince them. It's like, it'd be real illegal if you guys reshingled this house.
Yeah.
That'd be real.
Like we
that'd be
harness
real
this power
illegal.
for good.
You know what Dillinger would do right now? Yeah. He'd get up there and flash that gutter.
Yeah.
Is there video, or am I making this up,
there's
of guys stealing at night, like with a Ring doorbell or something, where I swear I could hear that impact? Oh, yeah, this is
here it
it.
is.
Right.
Is this a fire hydrant?
Yeah.
The fire hydrants and using their vehicles to knock it off and haul it away. And it's not just here. Sheriff deputies told neighbors they've seen the same thing happening in Linwood, where multiple hydrants have been taken there too.
Yeah, play from the beginning, you'll hear it.
They're taken on Thursday. Thieves are turning off the water first and then literally unbolting the fire hydrants and using their vehicles
that's
to
an
knock it
impact.
off
That's
and
wood
haul it
pack.
away. And it's not just here.
Yeah,
Sheriff
because
deputies told
that's
neighbors.
good. A drill just keeps turning, right?
Right.
But it doesn't create that much torque.
Right.
This goes pop, pop, forward, backward, to loosen up whatever's seized up. So,
Nithya Raman.
yeah.
Go after him.
Go after Makita or whatever tool those guys are using.
Sounded DeWalt to me.
Sound DeWalt
Yeah.
to you? What do you think, Hitachi?
That's great. Milwaukee? Is it?
Milwaukee,
Milwaukee.
yeah.
Yeah.
Milwaukee?
That's the red and black. It felt the film Milwaukee.
Yeah, Milwaukee.
Yeah.
That felt like Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Like 18
It wasn't
volt.
a Ryobi, that's for
No,
sure.
no,
That
no,
Ryobi
no,
would
no,
never.
no. Deal with
The
Ryobi.
chance of Ryobi taking off a fire hydrant,
It's almost
that's
zero.
Yeah,
what
but-
happened.
That's
yeah.
a casual man's. Like you go in and you're like
Yeah,
you're
it's
gonna
not Ryobi.
You're gonna fix your wife's she shed. You're not stealing fire hydrants with
No,
a
no,
Ryobi.
that's a
Imagine
real
showing
job.
up to that heist with a Ryobi.
Oh, you know what? They don't. They don't-
Ryobi's for the left wing
The-
grifter.
the guys who steal
right wing
that-
grifter would never.
The guys who steal hydrants don't throw around the word Bush League that often, but I think you would hear it if
Yeah.
you showed up with your Ryobi.
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, or Craftsman.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a good.
Go wait in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, go wait in the car.
You know
let
what?
The men.
You know what? Maybe you should just get a real job.
Yeah. Oh, you borrowed your wife's Ryobi impact gun for a night of thievery.
I've
That's
seen
so
them.
cute.
They have the pink Ryobi, right? Ryobi's the only one that was like, let's make the pink drill.
Yeah.
Let's
this is
cater to the lady who wants to drill
This
and
is
impact drive.
DeWalt, which I don't really like, but good enough.
But are you firmly in one power tool? Like, do all your power tools match?
Everybody, when I started in construction, all the power tool manufacturers picked a lane. So if you wanted, if you wanted a skill saw, it was made by Skill, and it was like a high point saw, and everybody who framed used a skill saw. That's all anybody used. But if you wanted a bayonet saw or sawzall, then that'd be Milwaukee. And then if you wanted a cordless drill, that'd be Makita, because they everyone had their stuff. And then they got deep into like plumbing stuff. Would be Rigid, would make plumbing stuff, and Porter Cable did routers, and everyone stayed in their lane. And that's all it was. So then you'd show up with your Porter Cable router and your Hitachi
You didn't have to be brand
something.
loyal.
No, it wasn't anything.
Who broke first? Who started the great power tool war of
Well,
87
well,
and started getting out of their own lane?
well. So it's the idea of battery operated stuff was
Right.
weird, and like I said, everyone just stayed in their own lane, and they stayed that way for a million years. They just specialized in whatever tool they specialized in, and Milwaukee would have never made a cordless drill. That was Makita. But Makita made a cordless drill, 9.6 volt, not a keyless chuck, although I always say that's the best name for a homeless guy ever, keyless chuck.
Chuck.
It was a chuck. You need a key for the chuck, 9.6 volts, but it's like $115. It was expensive. And everyone just let Makita make a cordless drill for a full decade. They just went, that's Makita, that's what they make. And they cornered the market, and every single unit. And then at some point, somebody went, I think these cordless drills are sort of the thing of the future. And then what the fuck? You know, they did the same thing. It's like Gatorade's got spring water now. Like, like everyone just stayed in their lane. And then at some point they went, fuck that. We're going to make everything. And that's where we're at now. But it used to be pick a lane and a saw.
So does your power tool collection go all the way back to you have a mixed bag because you got OG tools?
I got started with the skill saw. Had to start with the skill saw. First thing everyone does with their skill saw as soon as they get it to the construction site is take the safety blade cover that's spring loaded and comes back, open it all the way up and shove a shim in it and get rid of the fucking safety, because you can't cut on a diagonal with the safety. So the safety gets pinned.
That's for the layman. That's for the home dad.
Right.
If you're on the work site, you don't need no fucking safety.
You wouldn't even use a high point saw. You use a circular saw, but it's a little different. But anyway, then when I was working across from Jay Leno's place, as I always tell back in the day, Tom Johnson.
Famous Ryobi man.
Yeah, but Tom Johnson, they didn't have Ryobi back then, I don't think. Tom Johnson, my foreman, showed up. It was just me and him working, but he was the boss. But he showed up one day, and he's like, I got you a Makita cordless drill from Terry Lumber. And I was like, wow, that's sweet. Terry Lumber's top, you pay the most. And I was like, I was like, wow, how much was it? I was like, thanks. It was like $118. And I was like, oh, okay. I was making $7 an hour, and he goes, but I'm taking it out of your paycheck. And I go,
Oh, my God.
Okay,
Well,
thanks.
You're now an indentured
But
servant.
I got it. Bought a compressor, bought a weenie compressor from him. Bought a T-nailer. It's my first nail gun. Big deal. Big deal when you get that nail gun, man.
Yeah.
You've arrived.
Nail gun. Hitachi made nail guns,
Oh, yeah.
framing nail guns, but they didn't make anything else. So everyone had their specialty, stayed in their lane, and a guy would show up with a full bed box full of tools, and it'd be Milwaukee for this, Hitachi for that, Rigid for that, Porter Cable for this, and that's how it was for a long time. And now it's
free for
everything.
all.
And by the way, you can get a good cordless drill for $39 or $69 or whatever. I mean, if you really think about it, my first Makita was $115 and minimum wage was $4.75 an hour. Now minimum wage is $20 an hour, and a good Makita cordless is $65.
Yeah.
$80
You could
or
have done
whatever.
3 hours of work to pay off that drill.
Oh my God. I mean, when he showed up, I was like, all right, but this is 4 days work for this fucking drill.
My scam, because this is how little home improvement stuff I do. I'm a renter, for God's sake, but because I don't want to go and buy the drill I can afford. I don't want to buy the $60 drill. I want to have the power, the real. I'll just go and buy the best drill I can get. You know, I'll spend $500 on a drill, and then I'll just return it to Home Depot after I get
Really? You're one of them?
2 days.
One of
2 days.
them.
Not
yeah.
moral.
Yeah.
Not moral.
Get your fire hydrant and then return.
yeah.
You're the dude version of the chick who buys the cocktail dress and
Leaves
then
the tag
announces
on.
she's going to return it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, you can't do that.
I've always
your
said
brother's the criminal?
Yeah. Well, see, but I'm not even in his universe in terms of crime. But you know, I always said one day when I've got it, when I own the garage that the tools will be stored in, I can.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm just fixing things so I don't have to call my landlord.
Right.
Once-
When I finally did a TV show where like a home improvement TV show, and I think Hitachi dropped off just a ton of stuff. And then somebody broke into the garage and stole it all. But it was funny because we'd all taken our stuff home for the weekend. But my buddy Ray, he left all his stuff there. And then he got all his stuff stolen. And then he was super pissed off because he wanted to know, why is it they only stole my shit? And then he thought it was an inside job.
I was about to say, it
And
probably
then
was an inside
I
job.
said,
Somebody goes, hey,
well,
there's a
we
bunch
all
of shit
took
there.
our shit home. That's why
That
they didn't
helps.
steal our stuff. Your stuff was the only stuff in the garage.
I don't
so
think
they
you were
stole
targeted.
your stuff. And he goes, yeah, but I still think I was targeted. And I said, yeah, but you weren't. You just were lazy and left all your shit behind. But yeah, I got a lot of good Hitachi stuff from that gig. Still got combination blades and stuff. All right. I like tools.
Yeah.
Now listen, there is anyone listening, there is an excuse to slum it in tools and go super cheap.
Yeah.
And there is an acceptable tool from a hardcore tool guy like me that I will respect.
The 2-in-1.
No. If you say to me, I'm going to go to Harbor Freight and I'm going to buy a right angle 4-inch grinder for $14, that's a Chinese piece of shit, but I'm buying it because I'm just going to burn it out. Like I'm
wear
just
it
going to
out.
keep grinding whatever
Right.
into what I'm doing, and then at some point it'll start smoking, and then you just throw it out.
toss it, yeah.
Yeah, that I will not find fault with that man. But you got to go low. You got to go all the way to the bottom, or you got to get a good grinder. But there's some jobs where you're just going to take your good grinder and you're just going to smoke it.
Right.
So just go get a piece of shit and do it that way. All right. So
That's wasteful.
next story.
I like
a
your
way-
tip
yeah,
about
it is.
double fisting drills too. One for the pilot hole and then one for the.
Oh, well, if you're good, you have an impact gun now and a pilot hole drill. Yeah,
Right.
you got to have a drill, and you drill your pilot hole, and then you sink your screw with the impact gun.
Right.
All right.
So you're going to graduation, Adam.
Yeah.
But there's a story, as we record this, it's very recent. It's a school superintendent in Wisconsin was granted a restraining order against a parent who rushed the stage during a recent high school graduation and blocked the administrator from shaking hands with his daughter. So and there's video of it. So you'll see the dad and the superintendent is the black guy. So the daughter is right there at the top right. She's coming up, shaking everyone's hand, and here's the dad. And he's
No.
like, "Nope, you are not." There's volume 2.
Oh, really?
If you want to hear, everyone's confused.
Volume's always an issue here. We can start from the beginning again now.
So yeah, there's just commotion. I mean, it's just commotion, but you can.
Who's the kid with the full beard and the long hair? Who's that guy going nowhere?
Excuse me.
And he basically said, "You're not touching my daughter." And the guy's like, "Get off me! What are you doing? What are you?" So
Right.
a lot of people are saying, I want to get your thoughts on this because at the way we record this, we don't know why this happened. It's unclear what prompted the altercation, but
Maybe
people are
the-
saying he's quite racist. It's a racist act, and that he didn't want the black superintendent to touch his daughter.
Well, everything between black and white is always racist until proven otherwise. Now, that's all we do is we just go a racist move. The daughter had the Kira Sedgwick hair.
Yeah.
She'd been watching too many Kira Sedgwick movies, and probably just wanted to get a little cred at school with the whole Kira Sedgwick look. She had that hair. Now, there has to be a backstory here.
Of course.
There 100% has to be not a black story.
black story.
It cannot just be, I'm a racist and I'm going to charge the stage. What people don't really realize about racists, especially when they're accusing me of either being a grifter or being a racist, is if I was racist and I tried to live in Los Angeles in 2024 and maintain the relationships I have as a racist, I would keep it quiet. I would not say all the shit I say that you say makes me racist. Like some of the stuff they say, which is like when they go, this politician or that politician, or like Trump says he doesn't want, but he doesn't want black people to be able to have batteries for smoke detectors. Like, he may think that, but he's not saying he's not saying that, because if he's saying that, then that will torpedo your chances of reelection or what have you. So you have to kind of think through how many racist things you misinterpret. If there's
no backstory here and he just says, "You're not touching my daughter,"
because of the color of your skin, you've completely outed yourself in modern times as a racist, and thus you are a pariah.
I don't know. The guy with the hat at his daughter's graduation with the sunglasses on top.
That's a Trump voter.
You got
a Trump voter.
I don't know. I think he might have outed himself as a racist before he even got up there and did it.
That's true.
He might be proud of this. This might be his crowning achievement.
Mask is Biden voter.
Yeah.
Is on trucker hat is Trump
Your
voter.
profile picture is you inside your truck with your sunglasses on your hat.
So he is a Republican.
Yeah.
He is a Trump
He's
voter.
seen every episode of The Mandalorian.
Right. Yeah. But there's got to be a backstory.
What's the story is that just that he did this, and there's video of it. Did you say there was a lawsuit?
So police are thoroughly investigating the motive and what happened, but nothing at the moment is being...
Because it is, by law, it's battery as well. Like, he is going and physically moving a man across the stage.
And he was granted the restraining order, but a huge racism debate online because of what happened. So,
Well, look, the thing about the racism thing, have we not been lured into this and then found out to be wrong a sufficient number of times to stop the ladies from The View diving on this race grenade? Like every single time something happens, then they go, "It was right," and then there's been so many Jussie Smollett. So many, what about Bubba Wallace? There was a noose hanging from his pit garage door and stuff. Like, there's been a million college race hoaxes where it's like, the guy wrote KKK on the bathroom. Oh, it turned out it was a black student who did that. Like, have we not had enough of this? Oh, the trees in the Oakland Park have nooses hanging. No, they're rings for the black guy to get his exercise. Like, could we slow our roll at least so we don't all have racism egg on our face.
What do you think the
4
other?
days
What do you think
later.
the other pretend? Do you think he didn't want his daughter touching the guy who just touched the bearded?
Let's talk about
Lord
the
of
bearded
Rings
troll.
Poor guy.
You're not putting that hand that you just put on that guy on my daughter.
Somebody's got to reach Kira Sedgwick for comment because she's gonna shine a light on this.
Right.
Yeah.
We need to know what she thinks.
All right.
But I'm sure more information come out. Well, this high school is actually in the news in 2018 when there was a photograph of students raising their hands in a Nazi salute shared on social media.
Oh boy.
Oh, I forgot also those hoaxes where it's like the Marine cadets in the background of the game or something were doing a signal like the OK symbol,
the
whatever.
white
Like
power,
Yeah.
the truck
Well,
driver.
the OK one was always like, you
There
can't
was
just
a-
decide the thumbs up is racist.
There was like a
And it's
truck driver who from San Diego that like drove for SoCal Edison that was like hanging his hand out the fucking window of his
Yeah.
truck, and somebody's like, he had his forefinger and his thumb touching, and then they got him fired. Like,
Now these kids aren't doing the OK.
no,
Right. No, but according to the photographer who took the picture at the time, they claimed that I told the guys, okay, say goodbye to your parents in the picture, so wave.
right. This is what happens. But that's another race hoax here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm sure we'll find out in the.
I don't. I mean, listen. I'm TBD on the guy who went up and stopped his daughter, but like the guy in the front right, he can't be waving goodbye to his family with the straight out arm, right? Now I've just done
there's
it on
enough.
camera, and they're going to take a still shot of that.
Use it as our promo picture. For
There's
the episode,
enough
guys.
that are vertical
Yeah.
with the open hand, though.
right.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, who knows for sure? But anyway, this is the
Also,
same high school.
What do you think the photographer did? Yelled Sig Heil? Like, what do you think the photographer did? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, let's break it down. Like, that's the same thing about the kids
It's just
harassing
weird.
dolphins.
It's weird to me.
Like, what
it's weird
happened?
to me that none of them are doing this guy. None of
Right.
them are this
Right,
dude.
but
there's a weaker wave.
how did you? Okay, do all these kids know each other, and are they all part of the same group? That'd be like number one. Like if you got
It is weird that this was the field trip just for the group of kids who want that principal fired.
right, and then
See, nobody's telling the truth here, and then another person, the guy who didn't raise his hand I guess the guy at the bottom right said, no, the photographer didn't say raise your hand in a Nazi symbol way, but I'm pretty sure my classmates just interpreted it as raise your hand, but let's do this as a joke. And then when they asked if they knew what the gesture meant, another student said, no, nobody knew what it meant.
well, that's a pretty good point. I mean, I was talking to Mike August on the way here, and I realized we don't. Remember we did our Mary Mac and Monitor quiz around here?
Yeah.
No one even knows what the fucking Civil War battle, first ironclad ships were and stuff. Like people don't know anything about anything that happened in World War II or Civil War or anything. This was part of my pitch to Mike August of why we don't even need high
If
school
you ask-
anymore. They don't even fucking learn
Right.
anything.
Yeah.
Like
if you ask a kid, oh, what happened in Civil War? They're going to be like, oh, Captain America went against Iron Man.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they don't know old Ironside. Unless they think it's a 70s cop show or something. Let's see. Even that reference. Well, so why do we even do it in high school anymore? There's no more fucking learning about the Mary Mac and the Monitor. We're done. We're done with the story of Levi Strauss coming in the 49ers and making jeans and stuff. We're done with all of it. It's just talk about, transitioning people and the rights of the whatever community and the indigenous. You learn to read or write on your
maybe
phone.
the story from this video is that was the last guy who was trying to teach about the Civil War. And,
Yeah.
and the dad was like, not on my watch.
You're
You're not touching that guy who's trying to educate people.
It'll be something.
Right.
It'll be something other than this guy's just racist and making a move. But you got to take the hat with the Oakley blades off it and leave it on your seat.
Yeah.
When
Do
you
it.
run a coaster move in between the daughter and the black guy, because the hat
Yeah.
Doesn't
that
help.
Doesn't help. Does not help. All right, let's do one more.
Oh, okay. So we all know what I'm guessing you know what the most popular soda in the country is.
Oh, say Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. Yeah, Coca-Cola.
I was like, is this a trick question?
No, it's not a trick question. And the second most popular soda in the country is
Dr. Pepper.
Diet Coke.
Well,
Oh.
it was Pepsi since 1985, but yeah, Dr.
Is
Pepper,
it Dr. Pepper?
has now surpassed
Yeah.
Pepsi
Good.
as the second favorite soda brand in the U.S.
Good. Dr. Pepper tastes like something. Pepsi tastes like a different, lesser version of Coke, and then Dr. Pepper is like its own category.
Right,
you
and
know?
just like Coca-Cola, the formula for Dr. Pepper is a trade secret. The recipe is kept as 2 halves in safe deposit boxes in 2 separate Dallas banks.
Oh, I remember.
And the only guy who's seen it both, Mr. Pibb.
That's right.
He got pretty fucking close.
He got pretty
He got
close.
two quick looks.
Mr. Pibb.
He has a photographic memory. At Mr. Pibb.
Has anyone been to the Coca-Cola Museum?
I've been, in Atlanta. Yeah, I've been.
You've been there?
Yes.
Oh, man. I went there because I went to Road Atlanta to do a race or something, and it got, like, rained out or something. So we're like, what are we going to do? So we went to the Coke Museum, and we looked all around the Coke Museum, and then it was like time to go. And then there was they hire like special needs people to work at the museum because
You can pay him in Coke.
Yeah, it's hard to fuck
Want a
things up
2
at
liter?
museum. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. They probably just stood. He stood in front of the whatever, and he was there to ask us like if we saw the polar bear exhibit or something, and we didn't. But you can't tell special needs people no.
You just say, yeah,
So
you did.
I went. He was like, come by. He's like, did you guys see the polar bear exhibit upstairs? And I was like, yeah, we saw it. It was great. And my stupid friend was like, no, we didn't see it.
And then he's like, grab my
yeah,
hands.
gotta come this way. And he's like, Carolla. So I was like, just fucking say you saw the stupid thing. Now we gotta go stare at museums of polar bears with a retarded guy for 20 minutes because you had to be so fucking honest. Ugh. Sorry. All right, let's do one
You
more.
want to do one more? All right. So we talked about the fire hydrants being removed and it's ruining the city. Well, let me know what you think about these guys. So more than so some more things got removed. First off, steel planters. Now, steel planters around Playa Vista have been removed.
Are you saying planters?
planters? Yes.
Oh,
steel planters illegally bolted to the ground.
Planters.
Oh, steel planters.
Yeah.
Illegally bolted to the ground to deter people from parking their vehicles on the street, RVs, like the homeless people.
Oh, okay.
So these people planted steel planters,
Wow.
bolted them to the ground so RVs wouldn't park there. They have now been removed.
By the city.
By the city,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
And they have cited the people. They found out the people who did it, and they've
Yeah.
been cited.
Yeah.
But people taking it into their own hands.
Yeah, look. Okay. During COVID, they fucking forced everyone out to eat on a sidewalk, even though they made no scientific data, fucking anything with their 6 foot and their stupid mask up in between bites and stuff. But they shut restaurants down and they forced everyone out in the sidewalks. And so the people started going out in the sidewalks, and then they started putting up like fake shrubs and stuff so homeless people wouldn't like sleep on the sidewalk next to the thing. And then the city cites the people. It's like, listen, city, either you have to enforce laws or you have to look the other way at the Sodom and Gomorrah that you've created while citizens take the law into their own hands because you're not enforcing the law. It has to be one or the other. You either have to go, we're living in a lawless world where people can set up encampments and build shanty towns and with visqueen roofs and park fucking Winnebagos wherever they want and deal fentanyl out of them. And I can drive 110 miles an hour on the freeway because we're now in a lawless zone. Not
only that, but during COVID, the laws were actually like I was living in Venice when it happened, and people were setting up full on, like you said, the guy has a wire running into his tent. There's a barbecue in there, and I was like, this feels dangerous. He's like, we're in a stay-at-home order. And that's his home. And I was like, well, what the fuck? Well, we've really lost the plot on the word home at this point.
Did you see... Okay, Chris, I sent you a video of the Winnebagos.
Yeah, you did.
Turn the sound down on it.
Yeah, we can watch
hear
that on
me
mute.
talking. But it'll be the one time we get sound, I predict. It'll be the one time. But I can show you video I took on PCH. The homeless people have been doing what I've been thinking they should do for the whole time, which is don't live in fucking Sunland or Sun Valley in a hot, dirty dust bowl. Move out to Malibu. Don't live on Skid Row. Move to Venice Beach.
Yeah.
I was filming this as I was driving down PCH right next to Mastro's, and there's now homeless encampments in Winnebagos and school buses and trailer just parked all along PCH.
Ocean View, baby.
The most expensive real estate in the world. I was online putzing around today. It was 85. There's a house for $85 million up the street on PCH. So this place, when I'm driving home, there's a cop on a motorcycle who's tucked in behind a barrier with a radar gun because he's trying to catch taxpayers who are speeding on PCH. It's bumper to bumper traffic. I don't know what this fucking guy's doing, but he's sitting there with the fucking radar gun. On the other side of the street is guys dealing meth out of a fucking broken down Winnebago. Probably some cartel guy they pay rent to or something who tows it out there and lets them flop in it. There's no enforcement of that. So I don't know what the plan is. I really don't get it. And
Well, it's all the bureaucracy. When I first moved to LA, I moved to Venice. It was 2010, and there was the RV situation was the whole neighborhood was full of RVs.
Yes.
And what I learned was
you got a $3 million house, and there's a fucking guy just living in a fucking tin box in front of you.
Yeah, they would say that like the whole neighborhood would have to get together, and then they would have to petition, and then if the petition would be passed by a certain amount of people, then you can put up a sign that said no overnight parking for vehicles over 6 feet. And that was, so then one by one, each block got, moved out the RVs, and now they're up on PCH.
And remember, people rent these out too.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Airbnb.
So that's a premium.
Yeah.
That's a premium location.
Living on the ocean in the most expensive real estate in the world. And I was screaming at some guy about it.
If you ever want to come over and check out my spot, it's pretty good, by the way. I'm right there by Sunset Boulevard.
I was talking to someone who knew something about it, and I was like, I can't believe the city of Malibu is putting up with this shit. I can't believe it. I mean, Malibu. And, because like Beverly Hills doesn't put up with this shit. Beverly Hills like, fuck this. We got a bunch of rich people living here, and they don't want this, and we're going to enforce our laws, I can't believe they're doing this in Malibu. And he goes, oh, PCH is not Malibu.
I was going to say.
It's California.
Yeah.
So you have this strip of California that is not incorporated into Malibu that runs along it. That's why you got the cop giving out chicken shit tickets and the homeless fentanyl dealers living in their fucking shacks, literally 100 yards away from the most expensive steakhouse in the country, Mastro's of Malibu. You got guys living there. Now, God knows what Mastro's is paying in taxes and utilities and rent and everything else living on PCH with a business on PCH. But these guys ain't paying shit, and there's no enforcement of it. And it's because it's California.
Yeah, there's an intersection in Long Beach where PCH crosses 7th Street, and it's always backed up because they can't time the lights correctly since the Long Beach can't touch the PCH lights.
Right.
I would argue that if somebody took your home and said there's a 3-foot strip of carpet that goes all the way down the middle of your home, and that's the state of, I'd go, fuck that. I'm not letting homeless guys live in there. Like, I'm sorry. Like, city of Malibu, go fucking move the RVs. And if Gavin Newsom, you want to make this a plank and one of your talking points, or Nithya Raman or whatever nutty backwards superstitious politician, say whatever you want. We're cleaning up Malibu because we live in Malibu and there's a stretch of highway that goes through Malibu that you have jurisdiction over, but you're not doing it. And this is the most insane thing in the world, that there's vagrants living in Winnebagos, and like it's the most expensive real estate in California, and it's crazy.
So they try to stop it with these planners, but
the city got involved. Also, the city, when they spring into action now, but they don't spring into action when the guys are parking the Winnebagos. Could you imagine having like young kids and have them like open their front door and you go, just walk up to the side of this big Winnebago, just park there with some fucking pedophile junkie living in there? Like,
Justice involved.
Junkie. Pedophile junkie. Like, that's insane. And your house is $2.7 million in Venice
Now,
Beach.
remember, kids, don't go wandering into unincorporated California. Stick to the Malibu City borders.
So what they'll do is a whole bunch of more Winnebagos will pull in, and then it's because there were none 6 months ago. Now there's 20.
It's money. Mastro's finally ponies up, pays off the right person. Then somebody comes over.
Some point, one of them's going to catch on fire and fucking kill somebody, or some drunk driver's going to plow into one and kill some guy sleeping in it, and then they'll make their move. You want to know another thing that's crazy? Let me tell you about what is crazy. I walk the streets, the lonely streets of PCH on an almost daily basis. I chug it all the way down, right? Okay. And I started noticing, and they build these mega houses on PCH that are $150 million. And I started to notice something, which is they all have, all the big places on PCH on the ocean side have a big wall or gate or electric gate or whatever security, whatever a $100 million house has, right? And it's all about kind of privacy. But if you get to any of the open space where you could see the ocean from the sidewalk, it's open. Now it has a fence, but the fence is slotted and open. Okay. And I started noticing it when I was walking by. I'd walk by this one house and it had a fence. It was slotted fence that you could see, but it had sandblasted glass behind it, so you couldn't see through where the driveway was or the garage was. When you got to the pool, you could see right through the pool and see the ocean.
Okay.
It was about 20 feet wide. And I used to walk on it, and I was like, why would these people have privacy where their driveway was, but then their swimming pool is right here, and you can see right through, the glass is clear. And I go, that's just a weird choice to make. You had the sandblasted stuff you couldn't see through, and now we got to see through. All right, so be it. And then I walked to another house, and it was another gate, but you could see right through it to where the ocean was. And then I realized there's an ordinance, and the ordinance is you cannot build a fence so that the people walking down the sidewalk or driving by in a car can't see the ocean. You can build it in front of your house where we couldn't see the ocean because your house would be blocking it, but if there's an open space, we need it to be see-through so you can see the ocean. Okay, well then what's a 32-foot Winnebago with corrugated steel on the side of it, parked every 10 feet along the same highway? What, isn't that an obstruction to the majestic view of the Pacific?
But in between each bumper, Adam.
In between each bumper, there's a 4-foot slot where you could, So if you're building a $100 million house there, that is strictly enforced, because there's no way rich people would want you walking down PCH and looking into their fucking backyard of their $100 million mansion. And sure as fuck wouldn't want you looking into your swimming pool, right? There is a rule, but there's no rule about the Winnebagos. Mm-mm. That's all you need to know,
inconsistent.
people. Little inconsistent. All right, let's talk about me. I'm going to be in Vegas doing a live show there. Josh Wolf's going to be up on stage. Michael Yo, that'll be coming up on Thursday. And then, and those guys are both great up on stage. And then Irvine, I'll be at the Improv there, and we're going to be hosting a movie, a screening there, and we'll do a live podcast. We'll have the cast in, and that'll be Sound of Hope. And that'll be...
And that's free.
That's free. That'll be June. Does that say 9?
On recruitments, what I've seen from the news reports, just like you, I think there's been a bit of an uptick. The great thing about the U.S. Army is, we always fall under the civilian leadership, the duly elected civilian leadership above us, all elected leaders, regardless of party. I've served under 3 Democratic presidents, 2 Republican presidents. For us, we swear an allegiance to the Constitution, and I like to think that we're, part of, and we represent the United States, and so staying right down the middle and just executing policy. We don't make policy; we execute policy, and so. I haven't dug into the recruiting numbers, but I have seen the same news reports that you have.
So you come out, as we talked about, you get assigned here, you get a stipend, you set up here. You live in Germany, right?
Well, I'm going to Germany. I live in Memphis right now. And so my family's in Memphis.
Your family's in Memphis.
We're moving to Germany this summer.
So your family has to pick up and move.
They do. Yeah. I mean, my poor wife, she's moved the house. Honestly, I should have looked. I should have done the math before I came in here. We've probably moved 15 to 17 times in our military career, so she's pretty adept at it. You can't say that you ever enjoy it, but it's part of the process. But we've certainly enjoyed the journey because there's been just a whole set of experiences that we've had that the Army's provided for us, living abroad, living in the United States, living in different parts of the United States. And so overall, net gain, and we've enjoyed it.
No, I agree. I mean, I've always said kind of like about the military, which is, it may not pay a ton, but if you're on the deck of an aircraft carrier, I mean, how could you ever pay for that experience? You know what I mean? Like the things you get to do are kind of priceless, even if you're not getting rich off it. The places you get to see, the experiences you get to have.
Yeah, I think as a colonel that's been in the Army for quite a while now, several decades, I'm certainly a fan of the military. What I like about the military, the U.S. Army in particular, is opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity out there. I would argue for young people looking for purpose, motivation, direction, that the military is a great place to find that and then get opportunities like you just talked about. Before the fires occurred, I'm on the Mississippi River worried about flood risk mitigation and navigation on the river. And then before I know it, 48 hours, I'm in Los Angeles working on a fire response. For me, I enjoy that variety. I enjoy that kind of the new challenges. And so you get those catalysts that come along every once in a while that kind of, pique your interest and pique your motivation. Again, opportunity, and the Army certainly provides that for you. If you stick around long enough, you're going to get a lot of opportunity.
So, when can you retire? When do you plan on retiring?
I mean, really, I could retire any time. Traditionally, I'm kind of grandfathered into the old retirement system, which was classically 20 years, and I've crossed the 20-year mark. I'm approaching 26 of active duty years. I could retire anytime I want, but I'll tell you that I love this profession. I love being in the Army. I love what it represents. So at this point in my life, I'm probably going to stay in the Army until the Army's done with me. It's a young person's game, if you will. And so I'm certainly closer to the end of my career versus the beginning of my career, but just trying to enjoy all the opportunities that are before me.
Yeah. And when you retire, do you take a significant pay cut?
I mean, not necessarily. You can certainly when you retire, you have a set of experiences that is desirable, that can be desirable in the private sector. For me as an engineer officer, I'm academically civil engineer, industrial engineer with a decent amount of experience. And so a lot of us, you can translate that into working for private industry in very similar fields, or you can go become a high school history teacher or whatever you want to do. But there's, for my peers that have transitioned out of the Army, they've always landed pretty well on their feet. And so I don't know necessarily what I'm going to do after the military, but I would say that it sets you up for any number of opportunities post-military.
Have you had any combat situations, fired the gun at the opposing enemy?
Yeah.
I mean, I see here you got a Bronze Star.
Oh my gosh, you guys dug into the internet.
We
and
dug
found
into
some
that
stuff. So yeah, in our generation that came up during the global war of terror, I did have some time in Iraq, did have some time in Afghanistan, did have a lot of time in Eastern Europe. Certainly, some of those times were more difficult than other times. Being in those combat theaters, the way I look at it, though, I mean, of my peer group, there's guys that have served more often overseas in combat tours than I have and gone through greater hardships than I have. But I have had the opportunity to serve in combat, yes, in the United States Army.
See, for me, it seems like maybe sort of luck of the draw, but, your dad went to Vietnam. Vietnam seemed like a tough draw. Iraq, Iran, these Middle East theater seems tough. Then there's World War II. You may end up liberating Paris. and drinking some red wine, with a lovely lady after you vanquished the Krauts, it's just, you could get assigned to Malibu essentially versus, as I said, Mogadishu, like when I was talking to you earlier. So there's a lot of just kind of cosmic wheel in the sky stuff, right? Yeah. The Middle East stuff, Iraq, Iran stuff, that just seems tough to me. It seems dusty and flat and dry and doesn't seem like being a, if you're in the Air Corps in 1942 and you're stationed in England, man, you could go out to a pub and have a pint, and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then maybe you'd get shot down by a Stuka. But at least while you were there, the surroundings were kind of interesting.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, you never know what you're going to get in terms of where you deploy. I would say to your point, you go to World War II Army Air Corps, you might have had a drink of at the local pub, a pint, but being up in the sky over Northern Europe in that time would have been not a great survival rate. And I will tell you, I think, for me personally, what resonates for me is, I do a lot of reading and do a lot of historical accounts. And you ever start feeling sorry for yourself, read This Kind of War by T.R. Fehrenbach about the Korean War, and you'll suddenly realize that it's really not that bad what you got. And so no matter what situation that I think you can find yourself in, there's those that have served that have certainly gone through greater hardship than what you're in right now. And that, for me personally, that's always helps put it into perspective to a certain degree.
So your dad was injured in Vietnam.
Yes.
Was he in the Army?
He was. He was a combat engineer, lieutenant in the United States
States Army. Oh, he was a combat engineer.
Yep.
So there are times when the combat engineers show up later and times when they show up earlier.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, combat engineers historically embed with the infantry, and so you're at the tip of the spear, if you will. And so in the case of my father, that's exactly what he was. He was ingrained into an infantry task force, and they were forward and. He was. They came under enemy attack, and he essentially was. He was actually riding on the top of a tank at the time, and he took a piece of shrapnel in the chest, and it almost killed him. He was in hospitals for about 4 months afterwards.
So he didn't try to discourage you from following in that route?
No, he didn't. He never did. He really. I think a lot of folks like his generation, World War II generation, he really didn't talk about it a lot. But my dad was very patriotic. I was raised in a patriotic home, pretty proud of that. And he certainly communicated to me and my brother the nobility of service, but he didn't push us at all. And so I think when I started communicating to my father that I was interested in going to the military, he did not put a stop to it. And really didn't talk about his combat experiences with me until I went to Iraq for my first tour. And
When you were in Iraq, where were you based?
So that was the first tour in Iraq was 05-06. That was in Ramadi. So that's in the Al Anbar province. That's out there in the west. It was right next to Fallujah. There was a significant battle in Fallujah just prior to when I got there to Ramadi. And Ramadi had kind of seen a lot of the insurgents and the enemy fighters that we did have progressed from Fallujah, moved a little bit west into Ramadi. So it was a pretty trying time in a challenging 1-year tour. But from that, I think shared hardship on the flip side of this, not to take this to a depressing tone, but on the flip side of it, I mean, you establish some bonds with those that you serve with that I think are deep and lasting, and then you can kind of have friendships that are a privilege to have as you move through the rest of your life. And so there's a positive there.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have those kinds of environments to galvanize those kinds of relationships. It can be that way to a lesser degree with real competitive sports.
Absolutely.
When you're on a team.
Absolutely.
And you're sort of doing battle with the other team or whatever. You're not literally doing battle. But I mean, when guys, especially young guys, are in a situation where it's life or death, then you form that, right? Which is much different than an office environment or something.
Well, I mean, I don't want to take anything away from anybody's experience, but I think to your point, competitive sports, you could have that as well, no doubt. I think in general, shared hardships are good for the human spirit.
Yes.
And so that can come in many different forms. It doesn't need, you could find that in the Peace Corps. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that you only find that in the military, but I think those type of bonds, I think they're healthy for people, and it's certainly I appreciate all the friendships that I've made in the military.
No, I agree. I think part of the problem with some of the younger folks is we're getting away from the environment where you're putting yourself in a dangerous situation or you have some superior sort of yelling at you and telling you what to do and really like testing yourself, that feeling of I can't go another inch and somebody's yelling at you, go, and you're yelling, I'm going to throw up, and they're going, get down and give me some push-ups. Like we eliminated all of that, but it wasn't a good idea. It's necessary. And then you apply it in every facet of your life, which I don't think people really understand. Like I never was in the military, but I did football back when they used to be able to kick your ass badly and deprive you of water and stuff like that. And they just tortured you. And, part of it was like they go, well, why wouldn't they give you any water? Part of it was like they didn't care about hydration back then. But the other part was it was to break you down.
That's
like
right.
They were trying to break you.
That's right.
They didn't give you water because you wanted water. That didn't have anything to do with hydration.
That's right.
Or any of that. It was like, you want water. Yeah, no water for you. The trick question was always, after they'd run everyone ragged, they'd go, who's tired? And then people would be like, should we say we're tired? This is a bad question because if you go, we're not tired, they go, good, we're going to run some more. And then if you go, we are tired, they'd go, well, you're in bad shape, so we need to run some more.
That's right.
I realized there was no good answer to who's tired.
Yeah.
But they ran you. They're real tough. And then at some point, you've gotten out in the real world, and there was a little diversity, or adversity, I should say, and you sucked it up. Like you just rallied. You were able to do it because of that experience of getting your ass kicked.
Fully agree.
And now we've decided not to kick anyone's ass. And now we got a bunch of soft folk out there.
I can't, I agree with you. I still remember, like you, high school football. I mean, I remember Coach Ron August, and he would just tell us, like, you're going to keep running until I get tired, is what he would say, right? And he's sitting there with a whistle and a clipboard.
Right.
And I always, I remember those, times like you, high school football or whatever, and that kind of where it starts. And I think there's a lot of there's goodness there when you get some callus on your hands and callus on your feet. It helps.
I agree, but here's the disconnect, and I don't know if you run into this in your own life, family life, or maybe with young guys who show up that you in your, I don't know what we're calling your platoon or your, what do we call your?
As a lieutenant when you come out, platoon. Yeah, you're your platoon leader initially.
Okay.
Yeah.
I find myself saying to a lot of young people, and they go, I'm not feeling it today, bro. I go, just get up. You're fine. And they go, yeah, but my stomach hurts. I go, your stomach's fine. Let's go. And they go, whoa, whoa, whoa. What are you being such a douche for? And I'm going, I'm not, but let's go. And they go, what are you being so hard on the boy for? He says he's tired. He wants to sit. He says his stomach doesn't feel well. Says he may have a headache. He ate something earlier that disagreed with him. I go, get up. Let's go. Here we go. You can do this. Just let's do this. And they go, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I'm like, I don't want to sound like a douche, but I do know what this is, and I know what you need. You need someone going, get up, you're fine, let's keep going here. Yet society does not like this form of parenting or governing. And I don't know, you must run into that a lot because you went through all it, and then when you see it in somebody else, they're good. They're just saying they're not good, and maybe they believe they're not good, but they're good.
Yeah, I'll say in the military, obviously in the United States Army, we're gonna bring in soldiers from all across the country, all walks of life, all different backgrounds, and they're gonna have different experiences as they grow up. Certainly early on in my career, you learn that the greatest thing that you can do for your soldiers and for your unit is to train them and train them hard. And it goes back to what you're saying right there, so that you can break down some of those mental blocks that they may have. collectively make the greater unit stronger. I mean, that's the whole purpose of it. And so, I identify with that. I mean, you train hard, and you train as you fight is another moniker that we have in the United States Army. Train as you fight. So when you get to an actual fight that's not completely foreign to you, and you have a little bit of grit and callous built up, that's certainly part of it. Yes.
So we're going to be cleared out of Malibu, and I hear the power's back on, but I haven't been out there in a little bit.
Yeah.
But we're going to be cleared out by the summer. You think that things will be semi back to normal on PCH, although there's a lot of traffic issues, like we were talking, I think, off the air. There's a steakhouse named Mastro's right in the middle.
Yes.
There. Great steakhouse. And love going over there, having a steak and a martini once in a while. They're down.
Yeah.
But they're going to come back, but we know not when exactly. But I want Mastro's. So what do you think?
So what we're seeing on PCH right now, and working with the state, and the state is communicated to FEMA, who we're working on behalf of FEMA. It's in a great partnership with both organizations. We're surging on PCH right now because it is a vital artery. I mean, it really is your vital artery from Malibu to Los Angeles.
So you guys are working on, you focusing on PCH.
Yeah, much more so than when you were there last time when we walked around with the camera. We've effectively tripled, if not quadrupled, our crews on PCH right now. So when we were on Las Flores Beach last time, Las Flores Beach, as we're speaking here today, has essentially 2 properties that are not done. Those are both opt-outs. And so we're waiting. I don't know when the private contractors are coming to do those. But then we surged on Las Tunas, and then we're simultaneously, we're really now working the whole stretch. We're trying to speed the whole thing up. And so the idea is by the time you get to May, that PCH, both seaside, adjacent properties on the mountainside, and even into the canyon communities are cleared as much as possible, because there's certainly a need to try to open up PCH again for commercial reasons, for the residents. A lot of folks got to take grandma to the doctor, and now they got to go all the way around the Santa Monica Mountains. And there's no doubt there's additional hardships by having restricted access to PCH. So working with the greater team, all the local and state partners, we are surging on PCH, and we really believe when the sun rises on 1 June, it's going to be a very, very different place, and perhaps different configurations of PCH to allow more traffic.
So June 1st, you're saying, when the sun rises on.
Yep. Yeah, I think so. I mean, we're looking at the end of May to have a very, very different looking PCH, and we're doing that in concert with Southern Cal Edison. I think you were there when they were burying some of the transformers and preparing to have the underground lines.
They were. Are they? All right. So that's a good question. And by the way, you're not from here,
right?
And you only been here for 10 minutes. And I know people have been here for 20 years from Michigan or Baltimore, and I tell them, stop saying the PCH. And they go, it's the PCH. And I go, just say PCH. Just say, that's what we do. Did somebody coach you up? Did somebody tell you just say PCH? Because every jack off who comes here from somewhere else, which is everyone in the comedy community and the acting community, they're all from somewhere else. They've all come here.
Sure.
And they've been here for 20 years, and they go, I'm going down to the PCH.